Hi, my name is Stephen Murphy, and I'm a partner here at Block O'Toole & Murphy. You know, our law firm has a reputation for taking on some of the biggest cases in New York. But sometimes the most satisfying cases are the ones where you're just fighting for an everyday New Yorker. And that's what I'm here to talk to you about today. It's a pedestrian accident case where we represented a Bronx woman who was in her 50s, and she was on her way to work, a real hard-working woman. She was a baker and a cake decorator, and she woke up that morning, early in the morning, to get to the bakery. That day it was a very dark, dreary, rainy, and snowy day, and she was walking on Bruckner Boulevard, intending to cross the street. She's in a crosswalk, and there's a turning vehicle who wasn't paying attention, and that vehicle struck her, struck her as she was crossing the street. Now, when you're involved in an accident as a pedestrian, you're in a particularly vulnerable position. One, you're not anticipating being hit by a car, and B, you're really not in a position to protect yourself. There's no body armor that you left the house with when you're on the way to work. You get hit in a spot on your body, usually it's your legs, your hips, maybe it's your back, and those are areas, frankly, where there can be lifelong consequences. And our client was knocked to the ground, and she was dazed and confused. Eventually, an ambulance came and the police showed up. Now, not surprisingly, the driver of the vehicle tried to put the blame on our client, and that's where we went to work. Our client, she needed medical treatment at the scene. She was taken to the hospital, and she went through an extensive amount of physical therapy and treatment, and she ultimately required surgery to her spine as well as her shoulder. But our job starts with trying to prove who is at fault. And of lawyers who have represented pedestrian accident victims, things that are important to us are really ripping apart the police report, making sure we locate as many witnesses as possible. Are there surveillance cameras in the area or any photographs? And we really take pride in our investigative efforts to make sure that we're giving our clients the best possible chance at success. After we gather all of the information, we then attack the case by going to depositions, ultra prepared to test the validity of what the other side is offering to the circumstances of the accident, and then also the nature of the treatment that our client endured. And in this particular case, we exposed the driver of the other vehicle as not being worthy of belief, not someone who was paying attention. At this deposition, the driver revealed that he was looking down at the time, that the conditions in that morning were dark and they were difficult to see, and he wasn't paying attention, and he didn't have a chance to see our client. So clearly at that moment in time, we felt like we had the leverage necessary to establish that this driver was at fault for the accident. We were able to persuade the defendants that this case was a significant one. On the verge of this case going to trial, we were able to reach a settlement on behalf of our client for more than $1 million. In fact, the case settled for $1,500,000, a significant recovery for an everyday New Yorker. That's what this firm does.